Hi everyone, this is Elisan, and today I want to talk to you about how the ego, or rather, how ditching the ego has changed my life. So, we all have an ego and we cannot get rid of it, and the only thing we can do is to understand it and work around it and sort of like override it. So, unconsciously, I've been operating out of this egoistic place for so many years, even though I claim to be spiritual. And the truth is, we all do what we know and we do the best that we can be. So sometimes, now that you know better, you might have a tendency of blaming your parents for causing you all these belief systems that you didn't want, and now you have to unlearn and redo those belief systems. It's a little bit like this. If your parents knew better, they would have done better. Why would they want you to go through this unnecessary stress if they knew how to avoid it, or if they knew what they should do in the first place? So now that you know that your ego is manipulating or controlling the major part of your lives, or you have believed your ego, and now what to do? So as I looked back, you have to look back and learn through the lesson so that you don't make it again. That's the reason why the universe sent us tests. So through the lawsuit, I have learned to understand my ego so much better, and it was like a crash course in how the ego operates. So as I look back, I realized that I have been operating out of a very egoistic place, from a place of survival, from a place of lack, from a place of neediness, even though I was making good money, all in the name of survival. Because I didn't get my financial independence or financial literacy, or knew what financial independence, financial freedom even mean, until I was at the age of 30, because mom was always there. I was the good girl. Mom gave me the money. I listened to her. All is well. And then come one day, the soul decided that, hey, it is enough. It's time for you to grow up. And they orchestrated another event, which I will not dwell into it. I'll tell you another day probably. So that was the time that I became financially independent. I knew what it really meant to make money and that sort of thing. So I was in the survival mode, and a lot of us will start there. So don't blame yourself, because this is part of the journey. You have to learn how to make money. You have to learn how to get out of survival mode. You have to learn how to manifest what you need before you can manifest what you desire and what you want, and make that your default mode. So I was going out there, learning everything I could about business, putting myself out there, having this fantastic six-figure business. I want to be a millionaire, and all the hustle and bustle, the lifestyle and this and that. And you come to a point where you realize that it's not exactly what you were searching for. Initially, obviously, it was for survival, because you need to put food on the table, you need money. And like I have told some of you, and if you don't know, that I actually started my business from home. I had a small crystal design jewelry business that went on to, card readings, teaching people how to connect with their angels. And all I wanted to do was to start a home-based business, make enough money so that I don't have to depend on my husband or ask money from my husband. I wanted to have that independence again, that financial independence, when as I was working. So it started off like this, and as it grew, life showed me that I could have more, and I wanted to, do more and be more for my clients, have more for myself and for my family. And this is what I want to talk to you about as well. For the past 7 years, I was obsessed with building my business. It was always like, when I get there, then I'll get the freedom. When I get there, then I'll spend more time with my family. When I get there, then blah, blah, blah. When I get there, then fill in the blanks. I'm sure you have these experiences as well. And because of this lawsuit, I have completely put a halt to my life, and I had to reevaluate my life. And I realized that this, when I get there, has taken me 7 years. And what that meant as a mother, it has taken me away from my kids for 7 years. And what do children really need? Do they really need your money? Do they need that seven-figure business? Do they really need to travel in business class? Do they really need all the fancy schmutsy stuff? like what you think you can provide. It's great that you can provide a great life for your family. That's the bonus. But what do children really need? They need their mother to be present. So even though I started a home-based business, I was operating out of home. But to be honest, I wasn't present with them. I was physically present, but I was emotionally absent and just absent. I had no interest in their life. And it took me 7 years to learn this lesson. And I do not wish that you have to go through another 7 years to learn this lesson. Take it from me. Your kids are growing up day by day by day. Sometimes we take it for granted, like, oh, they're still young, wait till they're this and that. And my child, my oldest, is already 11. The second is turning 7, and my youngest is 4 and 5 this year. How time flies, right? And like I told you, it broke my heart when my oldest told me that you didn't spend time with me when I was a child. And she constantly need validation. Of course, now as I'm more matured as a mother, I spend a lot of time with my youngest. And you can see a difference, the oldest, the second one, and the youngest. There is a difference in their character, in their confidence. And obviously, my second one has a middle child syndrome, and she's always very she has a self-confidence issue that now I'm working with her, working on her, spending more time with her. Hopefully it will override the childhood days, because our unconscious mind is like a fishbowl. From 0 to 7, it's completely open, and it decides and to take in whatever belief system that they decide to take on at that time. I hope I'm not too late. And I don't think I am. Now that I'm more conscious about this, I'm spending a lot of time with my second child, reassuring her. Because when she was born at that period of time, I was busy building my empire. I got involved in an MLM company, and it took a lot of time away from her. So, and plus on top of that, when I was building my MLM business, which I've quit, my upline told me that it's okay to build your business now and spend more time on your business because children will not remember. That is so not true. That is so not true. I missed my daughter's kindergarten one's birthday party, and she remembers it till today. So you can imagine how painful it is for me and her to be reminded of that memory, that I was absent. And I cannot go back to that time and be present again. So I want to invite you today to really put a pause and ask yourself, how has the ego convinced you that you have more time? And I was watching a clip of Warren Buffett. He uses his time very wisely, because time is the only thing that you cannot buy again. Time is the only commodity that will not repeat itself. My daughter is only 11 years old once, or 3-year-old once. I cannot repeat that time no matter how much money I have right now. So today I invite you to really consider, how are you using your time? Are you using your time to build a business, as an excuse to run away from your emotional triggers, your emotional healing that you need to do? Because I probably did use my business as an excuse so that I didn't have to deal with my inner child work. I've realized that because I'm running away from them, I was actually running away from myself, because I didn't have the mother that I wanted. I didn't have the capacity to love. I didn't know how to become a mother, so I unconsciously chose to run away. And because now I'm more conscious now, I choose not to run away. And this is one of my intentions for 2017, to be more present in my children's life. I know the business will be there. Money is there. Money will always fulfill a purpose. But what's most important to me right now is my children. Are my children, my relationship with them. Because God forbid, down the road, 30 years, 70 years, if I can live that long, I don't want to regret that I did not have this relationship with my child, because it starts now, doesn't it? So if you are in this egoistic place and you don't know how to get out of it, I invite you to join us in a 33-day program. It's called the Conscious Program of Surrendering. Once you surrender, once you stop being that control freak, freedom is there. It's not the financial freedom, it's not the zeros. It's the freedom that you get to become who you want to be without the mind chatter, without the stories, without this invisible voice telling you what you cannot do and what you should do, that is taking you away from divine purpose, taking you away from the things that matters to you. Please don't repeat the mistake that I have made. It is very, very painful, and I want to atone my mistake now. I have another 7 years, another 20 years with my child, and now I'm awake. And so I invite you to awake with me, and you see how life would change for you. That happiness. It's not the money. Money is not the thing that you're chasing for. You think when you get the money, then, you can do whatever it is. You can do it right now. The ego is conditioning you. The ego is telling you that if only when you get there, then this and that. The ego needs time. The ego only survives in the past and in the future, but never in the now. So when you stay in the now, you are free from problems. It's not that the problems won't show up, but you are able to have the mental maturity to work through your problems without running away and work with what really matters right now. Right now. So do check the program out. Go to elisan.com/surrender. And I look forward to journey with you, and I'll share with you exactly how I have transformed my life. 10 years of spiritual learning, it's just the tip of the iceberg for me. I am so humbled by the entire experience. When I chose to humble myself and choose to and not choose and realize that it's not about me, that is when life really worked out for me, because it's not about me. It's about us all together, awakening from the illusion that we need material success, we need the house, we need the car in order to be a decent human being. No, you don't need that. All you need to do is open up your heart to love and invite the divine. Align yourself with the divine and follow your bliss. So I invite you to join me to ditch the ego, align the divine, and follow your bliss so that we can all get to the promised land. We can all change the world in our own unique way. So go ahead and click the link or go to the link elisan.com/surrender, and I'll be waiting for you over there. So I'll talk to you soon, and I love you all. I see you, and God bless.